that is very heavy on some of the things that are unhealthy for us. The oils and the sugars and the fats and all of these things. They are very prevalent in our diet.
I mean, especially people eat what is available, right? They have access to.
It is also a bit debatable. So, like MFA, I read some papers which suggest that people in the Volta region, people in OT, people in the northern region, northeast, Savannah, upper east, upper west, diabetes prevalence traditionally is very low there. You know why? They eat a lot of leafy vegetables, a lot of okra, a lot of the swaka, and all these things. Now, traditionally, if you look at our culture and our diet, it wasn't really a problem. It is the urbanization, the convenient foods, and a lot of the things we are bringing in. Let me give you an example. Previously, you'd eat jollof and you have a lot of tomatoes. I remember how my mom cooks abna jollof to prepare the meats, some ginger, small ginger. In fact, usually it's just your onions. Cut onions, sprinkle some small salt, steam, pepper, onion, maybe a little garlic, and then she'll say, go and buy me nutmeg, a little bit.
Give it a bit of
you
aroma.
Understand? Yeah. But these days, you watch even how people cook. They add 21,000 spices. So the MSGs, all these things. So your traditional diets, your traditional foods, really, because God places every civilization in a space, and you have to thrive on what is available. So people in the coastal areas will eat a lot of fish. Those in the inland areas who eat fish would rather eat a lot of smoked fish, right? Those of us in the forest areas will eat meat. But because we also did a lot of activity, our metabolism could manage some of those things. But these days, Charlie, somebody wakes up, eats a lot, comes to sit in the office. We've not even invested in infrastructure that promotes activity. So if you are building, say, let me use the Accra Mall to Medina Road. That's the Rollins Road or something. I forgot. The is the M4, right? You know, there are bike lanes. So for every road constructed in our neighborhoods, if we had pedestrian walkways and bike lanes, then our children could even ride bicycles to school and keep active.
When drivers have been taught how to drive.
No, that's why we have a bike lane.
Yeah, there's a bike lane.
So you promote multimodal transport. People can walk safely. People can.
Have you noticed that organic food and healthy food looks very simple but is very expensive?
So this is the point I was actually coming to. You see, so in order to be healthier, you have to do less. You have to eat less of the additives. You have to eat less sugar. You have to eat less oil. Less. The concept is that then it should be cheaper. But it's not, okay? Because some of these things are already added before you go and buy it. Before you go and buy the thing from the shelf in the supermarket, there's already sugar in there, right? There's already salt in there. So it's kind of like you have to pay more to find the one that hasn't been contaminated. Okay. But what I'm saying, the reason why I'm saying that it's a fun project is that there are people who have spent time creating menus that allow you to cook food that is even more delicious, but with much less of the things that are bad for your body, bad for your kidney, which we're talking about today. All right. And these are people whose work seems to be niche. Like they are on the fringes. We should bring them to the center. We should rather be investing in them. Like, you were talking about these biohackers, right? You should be finding the people who have found a way around these problems and then funding them, promoting what they do, talking about it, creating campaigns.
And in the linkages, bring them in, school feeding.
Thank you.
Let's have these biohackers create menus from our local stuff, which we feed our kids. It keeps them at the right energy level, helps with brain growth.
And it should be cheaper.
It should be cheaper. Wouldn't it be because of the turnaround of farm produce? You are a farmer, and then I've just been learning from you that you're able to have fresh mango juice by drying your mango flesh, and then you rehydrate it by adding water, right? But the turnaround time or period for farming, if I want fresh tomatoes, the challenge for farmers has been preservatives.
You don't need fresh tomatoes.
Have solved this
you
problem.
don't need fresh tomatoes all the time. Like I said, God placed us in a very dry area. We have the sun all year round. So how about solar drying and supporting it with dehydrators for large-scale industrial drying? So when we talk about low-hanging fruits, these are some of the low-hanging fruits I see, because we produce over 500,000 tons of tomatoes, if my stats are right. Yeah. Now, out of this, about 40 to 50% get rotten. We lose them post-harvest losses. So when there are tomatoes, we have tomatoes.
Could you hang in there? Did you know that?
Yeah. You understand? Yeah. So if we dried these and store them in the dry season, in the lean season, MFA would take 100 grams of dry tomatoes, put it in a blender, add 1 liter of water to it, and have a full 1 liter of fresh tomato paste with no additives.
Let me shock you. Did you know that your local food vendor specializes in going to the market to source for rotting tomatoes because it's cheaper?
Oh, they do?
Yeah, because it's cheaper. It's called Mpotoi.
Wow. And that's what they will use to make the food that you will then go and buy. You see? You see? So look, I mean, look, there's a lot we can do in this area. If we just start thinking outside the box, start spending the money on the front end to keep ourselves healthy, so that we don't have to be cutting big checks, 10 billion for our health insurance scheme just to treat the disease after we've contracted it. Right? We'll be thinking about things in that vein. When we come back, we'll be talking to our friends from the regional hospitals who are going to be telling us all about World Kidney Day and what we need to do to stay safe and healthy and keep our kidneys healthy. In the meantime, use the hashtag JoySMS, or you can WhatsApp us on 055 1111 997. We want to know, if your kidneys could talk, what is it that you eat or drink that they would beg you to stop?
And some of you have been answering that question. Now, Prince Ahin says that I support Indomie. How on God's giving green earth are you supporting this? But at Ghana Social Union also says Indomie. It seems to be gaining some expression on the popular terrain this morning. Dank also says that any food prepared with galamsey water.
Oh, God.
That's dangerous. And the Life of Kwame says that refined grains and sugar. And shockingly, Stanley says wachi.
Oh, how?
Shall we expound it out of the list?
Please, don't come and break our hearts this morning.
I want to say awachi.
No.
Okay, wait.
When we come back, more on this and other health-related issues. Stay with us. It's the Super Morning Show.
Building or renovating? Look no further. At Interface Limited, we have everything you need to create stunning spaces.
Transform your interiors with our top quality plasterboards, acoustic ceilings, and cement boards.
Step into style with our exquisite laminate and engineered floors. And for your data centers, durable raised access floors.
Elevate your outdoor spaces with our WPC decking and fencing.
Protect your home with our beautiful and reliable roof shingles, insulation, canopies, and PVC fascia boards.
Add a touch of elegance with our beautiful POP cornices and roses.
Quality, affordability, and style all in one place. Building a better Ghana, one space at a time. Visit www.interfacelimited.net or call 0274 999 999.
As a busy professional, I struggled with back and neck strain from long hours at my desk. To improve my focus, productivity, and well-being, I sought expert advice from the CEO of Expert Office Furnish.
After being in the furniture business for 25 years, I can tell you two things that causes back pain in the workspace: bad sitting posture and not sitting on a good chair. I recommend to you the Genevia Beeper chair, the chair that helps you to sit right. When you don't sit right, it beeps for you to be able to sit right. The next will be the Enjoy chair. It takes every body shape and size. Buy a chair that will support your back and give you that comfort to be able to deliver on your job.
Expert Office Furnish offers molding furniture for comfort, productivity, and style. From seating to customized solutions, plus interior decoration services, they've got it all. Find them off the Atomic Hills Estate Road in Ashonman or call 0571 386602 on Facebook and Instagram at Expert Office Furnish.
They were sentenced, but their stories were never told.
Amina Bukari Amin. Amina, you have to let me go. I don't want to go. Amina, I don't want to go, please. Amina, you have to. Please, Amina, you are free. You have to. No woman.
Image Bureau, Pepper Communications and Joy FM in partnership with the UN Family in Ghana and led by the Joint United Nations Program on HIV and AIDS present Beyond the Walls, a story of stigma, survival and the fear of freedom is set in the Nsawam Female Prison, National Theatre, 29th and 30th March, 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. each day. Tickets selling now at 200 cedis only at www.imagebureaugh.com or dial star 714*46 hash. Beyond the Walls, supported by New Plant Car Rentals, Aquaba Mineral Water, and proudly brought to you by UNICEF and Stampic Bank.
Gold Coast Leadership Conversations, Building Leaders for the Nations. The University of Gold Coast presents Ghana's premier leadership series, bringing together top executives, policymakers, and diplomats for 2 transformative sessions this March at Gold Coast Hall, University of Gold Coast, formerly Accra Business School, Spintex Road, Accra. On Saturday, March 22nd, Sir Sam Jonah, former CEO of Anglo Gold Ashanti, will share strategies for corporate governance and sustainable business growth, equipping leaders with the tools to drive resilience and ethical leadership. Then, on Saturday, March 29th, the Honorable Shirley Ayoko-Botry, Secretary General of the Commonwealth, will explore how international partnerships can accelerate Ghana's economic development. This event is free and provides a unique opportunity to engage with industry pioneers, connect with peers, and gain real-world solutions to today's leadership challenges. Seats are limited. Register now at www.ugc.edu.gh/event or contact Charles Can at 026-050-0444. Media partners are Joy News, Joy 99.7 FM, Love FM, Adum 106.3 FM, Inshira FM, Joy Prime, Joy Online, Adum Online, Adum TV, Hits FM, and Asempa 94.7 FM. Gold Coast Leadership Conversations, March 2025, Building Leaders for the Nations.
Do sometimes put them at risk. We've been asking you to tell us what are some of the things your kidneys would beg you to stop eating or drinking, and a lot of you have been mentioning a particular brand of instant noodles.
Let me start from the Wache guy.
But that guy, no, I beg, don't bring that guy.
Disabuse your mind of Wache.
We have no make fun
Stop
this
that.
morning.
How can you say Wache causes kidney problems?
We do not tolerate certain things.
But the doctors will tell us more about that.
Yes, we'll find out whether he's right.
Look, just like newspapers, everybody says they are buying graphics. So if you want to say noodles, say noodles. Don't mention a brand name.
Yes. It's not all Indomie, please. We beg.
Yes, we beg you. Don't mention a brand name. But I know earlier we were talking about pharmacists not being paid.
Yes.
And there are 3 doctors in the studio. And I'm wondering how long they worked.
I look good being a doctor, eh?
No, there's one here. Yes. Okay, there are
who is claiming medical aid?
and I'm wondering how long they worked before they received their first salaries.
Good question. Are they going to tell us?
Maybe it will affect their kidneys. So please, will the answer affect your kidneys?
Oh, can you tell us?
It depends.
So you, Dr. Koko, how long did it take for your first salary to land?
It took Approximately 12 months.
Hey. They made you work for 12 months before they paid you. Good Lord. Meanwhile, no MP, no politician, no appointee, no state institution CEO
maybe they gave a free
has
lunch.
ever had to wait 12 months for their, not even 1 month.
Maybe they give a free lunch within that period, free accommodation.
Did they give you free
transports, clothing
Did
support?
they give you free accommodation? Did they give you clothing support? Did you get a free house help allowance? Did you get a free security guard? What did they give you? Any of those things?
None of those.
That's the doctors, so the ones who save our lives, so. But the politicians who will come and talk nya, as for them, we pay them on time.
Parliamentarians in the new parliamentarians, I'm not sure they've been.
They
paid.
don't talk nya.
No, I'm not sure they've been paid.
They've not
the
been
new
paid.
Parliamentarians. I'm not sure since they were sworn in they've been paid.
Are you sure?
I have a feeling they've not been paid. Because my friend B, who won Parliament, he still is the same kinky with us.
maybe he's just trying to be a man of the people.
They've not been paid.
All right. No, honestly, we need to do something about. We need to figure out this thing. I mean, you can't employ people and expect them to work for the state without any remuneration. But that's only a small part of what we want to talk about this morning. Want to get into it with our guests, and let me introduce you to our two guests this morning who are here on World Kidney Day to educate us on everything to do with the kidney. It's one of the most important organs in your body. In fact, two of the most important organs in your body. God gave you two of them. And we have two guests to help us understand why today is important. So Dr. Prince Berima Educhum is a physician specialist at the University of Ghana Medical Center. He's a nephrology fellow in training at Kolebu Teaching Hospital. He's joined by Dr. Martha Tufuo Koko, who worked for 12 months without pay. She's a physician specialist in the Greater Accra Regional Hospital and also a nephrology fellow in training at Kolebu Teaching Hospital. What's a nephrology fellow in training? Dr. Educhum.
Thank you so much. So when we say a nephrology fellow in training, we are training to become specialist nephrologists. So after your first specialty, which is general internal medicine, we subspecialize, and that's what we are doing. Nephrology entails kidney and kidney-related diseases. So that's the field we chose.
That's the part Mr. Kuto wanted to understand.
Great.
Nephrology. All right. Okay. So it's World Kidney Day.
Yes, please.
Let's start first of all by understanding these two organs, the kidneys. What role exactly are they playing in our bodies? Why are they important, Dr. Koko?
Right, so the kidneys are silent heroes in our bodies. They play several roles that we do not even recognize. The one that most people talk about, which is that it makes urine, is what I call the byproduct from the factory. So if you've got a factory, maybe you are producing some products in the factory, and then you see smoke come out. So that smoke is like the byproduct. That's not what is going to be used by the body. But it's important that it comes out, because if it stays inside the factory, it's going to cause problems to the people inside. So they could breathe in those toxic materials. So the kidneys, we have two. They are like our body's sieving machine. So they strain. So just think about it as a sieve or a strain. When blood passes through the kidneys, blood goes through the kidney, they will sieve the blood and then take water that you need back into the body. Then the rest that is not needed with the other bad stuff, so it takes out the waste product, it comes out as urine. So that's the first thing that it does. So first of all, I've already described how it regulates water in our body. So you can take 20 gallons of water, and the kidneys has this very special way of bringing so much of it out and then keeping what is needed. Then those extra waste
things would come out. So that's the first thing. Then secondly, it regulates our blood pressure. The kidney has certain hormones in them. One of them, which is renin, helps to regulate our blood pressure. And so if your kidneys are not working well, your blood pressure would go up. Thirdly, your kidneys also have a very powerful function of helping you make blood. So it also has a hormone that helps you make blood. So your kidneys are not functioning well, your blood levels can drop. Even your bone health, it's the same kidney. So it regulates your calcium, your phosphate. So and it houses vitamin D, which is also a hormone. So I've already described 3 different hormones that are already that are situated in the kidney, and they are doing various things. So these are some of the few functions that the kidney does.
All right. Now we know that if your kidneys are unhealthy, it's very dangerous. So what are some of the things we do that endanger the health of our kidneys?
All right, so taking it from there, I would say that it's quite a host of things. I'll start with something that is actually trending on X and other social media pages. Unim red.
God.
And then, it's not just about the unim red. I always say that a lot of people are doing this red. If you see the videos, they are mixing the red, which is the high doses of tramadol, with other things like cough mixtures, energy drinks, as well as also milk and others. And when they do all this concoction, it puts stress on your organs, primarily the kidney. Also, this group of people, if you also notice, they are the chunk of people who are going to do the other hard drugs. They are smoking as well, they are taking alcohol, and these are all stresses on the kidney. Moving away from this, we come to the 2 commonest risk factors for kidney diseases, which is hypertension and diabetes. So we always say that if you have hypertension and diabetes, you have to make sure that your sugars and your BPs are well controlled, and you have doctors paying attention to you, because if you are not doing that, it also comes back to harm the kidneys. There are other risk factors, such as maintaining a bad weight, also not eating right, which entails so many things, poor hydration. So in our part of the world, because of the temperature, we are supposed to hydrate well, because we tend to sweat a lot, especially if you are doing you are working exposed to the harsh environment, and then also you are not in the AC room and all that. And then lastly, we'll talk about other genetic factors. So there are some people you notice that the kidney disease runs in their family, and this can be because of some genetic predisposition they have. And one common gene is the ApoL1 gene, which my colleague Martha will highlight more on, because we are doing a little research pertaining that field. Thank you.
Tell us about that. Yeah.
Right. So, the ApoL1 gene is a gene that is common in West Africans. I'll just give a short background on how it came about. I'm sure most of us have heard about this fly bites that cause sleeping sickness. We learned about it in primary school. But ever since I started working, I've never met a patient who has developed sleeping sickness. And that's because for so many years now, we actually do not have sleeping sickness because the human body developed resistance. So a short analogy of how this came about is I'll use mosquitoes. So maybe some 5 or 10 years ago, you're using a certain insecticide to kill mosquitoes in your room. But now when you use that same insecticide, you come and the mosquitoes are still dancing in the room. This is because the mosquitoes have developed resistance. Everyone needs to survive. So your body would go through a certain change to survive. So it won't be killed. So humans needed to survive from sleeping sickness. So we went through that change. And this was a genetic change. Unfortunately, this genetic change is putting us at risk of kidney disease. So that's the ApoL1 gene which has been discovered. The ApoL1 is so it's got like different genotypes or alleles, I think a simple way for most people to understand would be to use a common one that we know, like sickle cell disease. We know AS, SC, SS. So this one is G0 or G0, G1, G2, right? Now, for every human being, when you are born, you take genetic material 50% from your father and another 50% from your mother, which means that when I am born, someone would say, oh, your left eye looks like your father, but your right eye looks like your mother, and your nose looks like this person. So the same way, our internal organs, which includes our heart, our kidney, our liver, and so on, are genetic materials that we've gotten from our parents. So in the same vein, we inherit these genes. So if I inherited G1 from my mother and G2 from my father, I'm at risk of having kidney disease. So, or if I got G1 from both parents or G2 from both parents, these puts me at risk. If you have the G0 or G0, so G1 G0, G2 G0, G0 G0, or G0 G0, then your risk is not there. Even though now there are studies even showing that if you've got G1 and G0, you may also have some risk. So the recent studies we've done have shown that this is very common in West Africans, and we are seeing more young people coming down with kidney diseases, not because they are smoking, not because they are taking too much alcohol, not because they are obese, not because they have hypertension or diabetes, but because they have APOL1 high risk alleles, which are the G1 and G2 risk alleles. So it's unfortunately it's not like sickle cell where you kind of go and test, and it does not also mean that when you have it you would have kidney disease. But then we found that if you have 3 people who have kidney disease, at least one of them have the high risk allele in this sub-region, and that's what it's not a study that we are doing, but a study that we are part of.
Okay. Dr. Tufan, that's some education. You mentioned that it's not like sickle cell where you can go and test for. I'll come to Dr. Duchum for, I mean, we're human beings, and our kidneys, one way or the other, decide to want to fail, and would want to know the signs and symptoms to that. But with you again, does that suggest that I can, without any signs and symptoms that Dr. Duchum will be teaching us, I can just walk to the hospital and test to see if I'm predisposed by this study?
Okay, so unfortunately, we don't have this test commercially available where you can walk into a laboratory and say that, can you check my APOL1 gene? What we are doing, we are not looking for healthy subjects. Like I said, it's unethical to look for to test someone who doesn't have kidney disease, for the person to go into some severe depression because they think that one day they'll get it. They may actually never get it.
Okay. That's
so once you have kidney disease, what we are testing is, so how many those who have kidney disease, you don't even know about it. If you know about it, do you have protein in your kidney? Is your kidney function reduced? Then we will see if you fall into the criteria of the study, and then once you are in it, then the testing can be done, because we are not doing it currently in the country.
Okay, thank you for that clarity. But Dr. Duchum, so this means that life will happen to us as human beings anyway, and so we must learn the signs and symptoms, right?
Great.
What shall I be looking out for?
All right, so one thing about the kidney that's quite unique and disturbing is that when you have the early stages of kidney diseases, you may actually have no signs or symptoms. So you'll be there, it is going on, but you'll never have an idea. And that is why our theme this year is, we are looking at, are your kidneys okay? Have you checked your kidneys, detect early, and then protect kidney health? Because if you are not checking, you are not a step, 2 steps, 10 steps ahead, you might come in very late. Now, when you come in late and now you are having obvious symptoms, then you might have swelling of the feet. Some people wake up in the morning with swollen face, and then it gets better during the day. You can have reduced amount of urine you are producing, like your urine volume will keep going down and down. You may see blood in the urine, or sometimes it will be very foamy. You can also have general swelling of your body. You can have some pains whilst urinating and in other places, amongst others. But largely, the early stages, you may not have any signs or symptoms. So you have to be a step, 2 steps, 3 steps, 10 steps ahead and check.
I've heard medical slangs like stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. I've also heard of what is called a chronic kidney disease. Walk us through the stages so that it's not too scary, and how often you go to the hospital now that you don't want to wait for your feet to be swelling and showing these kind of symptoms. But what are the stages, and what are really the diagnosis like for the stages?
Okay, all right. So when we talk about the stages, we have stages 1 to 5, and then we use a criteria. There's something we check when you do the kidney blood lab. We call the EGFR, and based on the level, we categorize it into stages 1 to 5. Usually 1 to 3 are the early stages, and 4 and 5 is the advanced kidney disease. And a lot of people requiring transplantation or having dialysis are in the stage 5. Also, when we talk about chronic kidney disease, usually we want to establish the fact that you've had this reduction of the EGFR below 60 for a period of 3 months or more, a bit technical in the definition, or you have evidence of kidney damage via biopsies or scan or any other ways of assessing kidney damage. So usually chronic kidney disease goes beyond the 3 months period, whilst the acute is less than, and largely if you come early, we can do something to reverse the acute injury.
Wow. Dr. Tufo, so all of these plenty English that Dr. Duchum is just saying, can it happen to both kidneys, or it can happen to one at a time?
Thank you. So I think in the beginning, before I answer your question, I just want to make it easier for you to understand. So Prince described the chronic kidney disease stages, right? Now, the kidney, he mentioned GFR, glomerular filtration rate. I told you the kidney is like a filter. It sieves. So the rate at which it is filtering. So it's supposed to filter really well. Now, when we say stage 1, we are looking at those who are filtering. Just imagine it as, say, 90%. Then it goes down, down, down. So when we say that your kidneys have failed, then you are doing something less than 15%.
Okay.
So some people actually have they are in kidney failure, but the kidney still has a little function. Sometimes you can go as, less than 15 means some people can have 2% or 4%.
Wow. For the chronic one.
That's for chronic.
Stage. Okay.
For acute kidney injury, it's short. It's like having malaria, taking medication, you are fine.
Okay.
So sometimes you can even get a cold, like a flu. It affects your kidney. You may not even know, and then a few days later, it's okay. It's only when it becomes severe that you may be in hospital, and then someone puts you on dialysis, maybe just 1 or 2 times, and then you are fine, you're off it.
Okay.
So that's acute. So acute goes away. The only thing about acute that we clinicians are usually worried about is that it can progress to chronic. So if someone got acute kidney injury, it went away, their kidney function returned to normal, we would be monitoring you sometimes every 6 months or yearly, depending on what you came with, so that we can catch it early if chronic kidney disease starts developing.
Okay.
So to be clear, chronic kidney disease cannot be improved?
Chronic kidney disease we can do things to slow down the progression, but you cannot. So for instance, if you are in stage 4, I cannot bring you to stage 2 or stage 1. So you can be hovering around that stage 4. So you'll be doing something 20%, sometimes it goes to 15%, but it's all within stage 4. So chronic kidney disease, the progression can be slowed down, and based on what is causing your kidney disease. So for instance, if you have diabetes that is not controlled, and that is what is driving your kidney disease, then we've got to slow it down by controlling the diabetes.
Okay. You control the cause.
Exactly.
But not exactly the
So
kidney at the stage.
where it has gotten to, there's really nothing you can do.
Well, which then will take us to the scary dialysis, Kojo. I mean, this will mean that dialysis is one of the many ways which you control the progression, or what? Maybe Dr. Dichumbi.
Dialysis comes in when we get to kidney failure. So at that point, we establish, based on clinical as well as laboratory investigation, that the kidney cannot do the work it's supposed to do, and you need assistance. So dialysis is more like assisting the kidney remove the waste and do some of it function. So when we get to dialysis, it means that there's kidney failure. And at that point in time, when we put you on dialysis for kidney failure, it is a long-term thing. And it is one of the two main treatment options we have. The other being kidney transplantation, which currently is done in about 4 centers in the country. Yeah.
He said that smiling.
Yeah.
So kidney failure, would it be for the 2 or 1?
Oh, I didn't answer your question about the 2 and 1. So anytime someone has one kidney that has a problem, when you check your kidney function, it's actually normal, because the other kidney will take over the function.
Okay. Which means that
so anytime we say that you have chronic kidney disease stage 3 or stage 1 or stage 2, it really means that both kidneys, not just one. And that's why people born with one kidney, you know, are still walking around and not on dialysis or something like that, even though they have peculiar issues. But you can have one kidney that functions well. So just imagine that you are supposed to get to point A to point B with say by walking. One person, you are walking, but now you've got a horse to help you, so you are 2. So the horse helps you get to that destination. Or if you are walking, you probably have to run to catch up with the horse. So now if there's no horse and it's just one person, then you are running, so you're going to build like more muscles, you are going to work harder. So the thing with one kidney is that you put more pressure on that one kidney to work more. So those kidneys are usually larger than usual. It's very similar to those that's so when we say obesity causes kidney, so obesity on its own can cause kidney disease with the same logic. Because of the increased body mass, when you were 50 kg, what the kidney was doing, the kidney is not increasing in size because of, so once you are bigger, the kidney has to filter more, so it's working more. And so that strain over time can cause kidney disease. So when we say 1 or 2, so usually when we say chronic kidney disease, we are referring to one kidney. Even with acute kidney injury, we are referring to one kidney. Your kidney function is not likely to deteriorate because one kidney has a problem.
To come in.
Yeah, you wanted to add something?
Yes, so I wanted to add something. So to come in, I always say that every organ in the body that is 2, you can actually do without one. It's like the eyes. If you have one gone, you can still see with the other. So like the lungs.
Not very well though.
Not very well though, yes, definitely. Not very well though. And same way with like the lungs as well. So just like that with the kidney, because it's 2, if one is not functioning well and one is doing very fine, when we do the blood work.
And just live life because of this allele that Dr. Koko mentioned.
Actually, I think it's still about lifestyle, because our life-seeking health habits are poor. People just do not check. This morning I was saying that when we buy our cars, some people are really particular about their vehicles. Every morning they'll clean the car. For some people, you can't even eat in that car. They'll open the bonnet, they'll check the oil, the water, every single thing to make sure that the car is in good condition. The car will probably be driven 5 hours or less in that day. Your kidney, your heart, your liver is working. They are working 24 hours, 7 days. But you don't have time to check even once a year. So it's still habit. And that's why this year we are saying early detection. So when I ask you here, are your kidneys okay? Before you can give me an answer, the only way you can give me an answer is if you've checked. If you've not checked, you cannot tell me that your kidneys are okay.
Tell us a bit more about what you're doing for World Kidney Day.
Right. So this year, as part of the celebrations, we have our two major highlights being Accra and in Kumasi. In Accra, we have screening currently ongoing at the Parliament House, as well as the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. That's the Urology Nephrology Center for Excellence. We also have public lectures, which is currently going on as well in this venue, as well as at the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital. And then also, we'll continue our screening at the Parliament House tomorrow. We're also having some continuous medical education for health workers later during the day, and we have other regions like the Ifeanyi Regional Hospital and other satellite hospitals also supporting with their mini celebrations as well. And for this year, we are highlighting again that we want people to be a step ahead. All you need is to create time, go to the hospital, do a general medical or thorough medical checkup once a year. It can be the beginning of the year, it can be on your birthday or any other selected day. And if you have a problem, the doctors are there to help you, the nurses are there to help you, the physicians, specialists are there to help you as well.
In a year, how many times should you test, and how much does it cost?
Depends on your risk. So if you've got diabetes, you've got hypertension, you are definitely in a higher risk group than if you do not have any of those diseases. If you've got a family member that has kidney disease, your profile is definitely different from someone who has none of those. So if you call yourself healthy, if you've checked before, you do not have hypertension, you do not have diabetes, you've never had acute kidney injury in the past before, what you should do is not just to go check your kidney, but yearly check your blood pressure, check your blood sugar levels. The prices for, I think some pharmacies, you can go in and then get a BP machine. Even if you can't, you can actually check there, and it's a good start. And then your sugar levels, I'm not sure what the prices are because different labs have different prices.
Okay.
For the kidney itself, there are two things that we are interested in. Something we call creatinine. Creatinine is like a byproduct from your muscles. And that's what we are checking. And then the protein in your urine. So I guess most of you may have heard urinary. I'm checking my urine. So when you do a urinary test should not be more than 50 cedis.
Okay.
If someone is just doing a dipstick, what the pregnant women use, that's even cheaper. In the hospitals, if you just do it, it may be 5 cedis per test, which are simple. And in fact, our screening today and tomorrow are free, so please come.
Where again? I like the sound of free.
The Parliament House forecourt and also the Urology Nephrology Center of Excellence at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital.
The two places, I agree, but Parliament House, why that place?
Because we had a collaboration with them, and they invited us to come and then support them as well.
Also, parliamentarians are known to have kidneys.
He's on them since morning. But please reiterate the things that you can do. I mean, you've mentioned how people just indiscriminately take Unim Red, and the others, but some behavioral aspects of our lives that we take for granted. For example, if you drink too much water, is that a problem? If you drink less water, is that a problem? What can we really do to survive?
Too many advice from too many people. Water is good, and you should drink water. The kidney can really, if your kidneys are functioning well and you take even 20 liters of water, it shouldn't cause problems. So water is good, but of course you can't overdo things. So water is good. The only time we tell people to restrict water is when you are in kidney failure and in other conditions like heart disease. And you see, the heart pumps blood. It's the heart that pumps blood to the kidneys. So if your heart is not functioning well, it can also affect your kidneys. So to improve your cardiovascular health, your heart health, you need to exercise and eat right. So it protects your heart, it protects your kidneys. So eat right. Increase the vegetables and fruits in your diet. we talked about not having symptoms even when you have like stage 3 chronic kidney disease. But guess what? That alone, just having chronic kidney disease, even when you are not on dialysis and you are not having whatever, it increases your risk of cardiovascular disease like stroke, heart failure. So just by and even premature death. So just by having chronic kidney disease increases that risk. Okay. So what can you do? If you have high blood pressure, please take your medications. Some people take their medications, their blood pressures are not controlled. Just because a doctor has put them on medications, they don't even go for follow-up. So do that, and then ensure that your blood pressures are at an optimal level. If you have diabetes, we are asking that you take your medications as well. You don't have any of these things, it is lifestyle. So smoking, alcohol, reduce it. Increase your water intake. Increase your vegetable and fruit intake. That's your diet. These are, and then reduce your salt. Reduce your salt intake. Because salt also sort of helps. So salt draws water. So if you have a lot of salt, then you are drawing water. So these are some of the few things you can do. But for me, what I'm passionate about, please, it is the health-seeking behavior. You find someone just coming to the hospital, so in their whole adult life, they've come to the hospital once, and that first time you see them, they need dialysis because it's kidney failure. And most of the time, what they'll tell you is, "Oh, doctor, I'm not sick, so I don't go to hospital." We are not asking you to come to us. We are just asking you to walk into any laboratory and say, "I want to do this because I'm checking myself."
You both are amazing. My time is up, but quickly, the Parliament House screening, is it open to the public?
No, that is not open to the public. So the public they are supposed to go to the Urology Nephrology Center of Excellence at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital.
Okay.
And then the Parliament is for a select group of people who are having their
They
screening.
should be healthy for their constituents, eh? Right.
Can I add one more thing before you leave?
Okay.
Before we close, I know your time is. A few days ago, we celebrated International Women's Day, and so, being a woman, I'm passionate about women's health, and I just want to mention something about kidney and women. Worldwide, 185 million women have kidney disease, and we lose about 600,000 of them every year from kidney disease. One of the things I am working on is kidney disease in pregnancy. And you may not have had any history of kidney disease in your life, but once you get pregnant and you get certain complications of pregnancy, like preeclampsia, sometimes you even bleed after pregnancy, you now develop kidney disease. So women, please, sometimes you go to hospital, depending on the facility you are in, it may not be checked after you are discharged. Make a conscious effort to check so that you don't come back to us later. We've had a few people coming in 2 or 3 years after delivery, and then they are already in kidney failure.
Thank you.
Just a quick one though. Worldwide, who gets more kidney disease, men or women?
Men.
So Dr. Educhum, you say something for us.
So for men, so one important thing about men, and I think I have to also highlight it again. We take a lot of alcohol and we smoke as well, and these are established risk factors for kidney disease. So we are not saying that continue taking your alcohol and smoking. I mean, men, we do a lot of we take in a lot of high risk substances. And another thing too that I also say, there is this trend where people take drugs, some alcohol based, some herbal based, for sex. And they don't know the effect it has on the kidney and the other organs. If you are going to have sex once a week for a year, I mean, how many weeks are there in a year? Look at the number of times you are taking that drug. If it's going to be 2 times, 3 times in a week, and you are taking that before sex, look at the number of times you are going to take such a substance. So men have other ways of developing these kidney disease, or have other risks for having these kidney diseases that probably we may not highlight more because of the time. But please don't take the alcohol, don't smoke, and also cut down on these sex enhancing drugs, performance drugs as well.
Agbena, Mr.
Dr.
Koduru.
Boema, like the adrenocorticotropic hormone, we will take that message to the men.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for spending time with us, Dr. Prince Berima Educhum and Dr. Martha Tufuo Koko. We appreciate your time very much. It's the Super Morning Show. We've got more to do. Stay with us. We're back after these.
Have you reserved your seat yet? Yes?
No?
Or you're waiting for last minute?
Well, let me tell you, the seats are running out very fast, and trust me, you cannot get this experience of a lifetime anywhere else at this rate. I'm talking about the Volta Adventure, organized by your radio for discerning listeners, Joy 99.7 FM, this Ghana month, from the 21st to the 23rd of March 2025.
With just 3,500 Ghana cedis, you will get to experience the Pando Zipline, the Tafi Atome Monkey Sanctuary, Mount Gemi, Amejokwe Waterfalls, and the Canopy Walk, among others.
This will also include a 2-night stay at the plush Volta Serene Hotel with Bobobo experience, a variety of local dishes, nightclub sessions, and a movie night.
You will also have access to the game room at the Volta Serene Hotel and loads of other recreational facilities at the hotel.
That's not all. All patrons will cruise on the Dodi World with lunch and entertainment before we get back to Accra.
Remember that you will be refreshed on the journey with natural juices from the Kumfi. Woodin also has lots of fabrics to give away.
And every adventurer would be given branded Ghana Month t-shirts from Serene Insurance and other branded Joy FM souvenirs.
Yes, you heard right. It is only 3,500 Ghana cedis for everything.
All meals, accommodation, tours, and the entire experience. There are no hidden costs.
Sign up now by making payments via Momo to 0593 038 842. The Momo name is Daniel Boyfew. Kindly reference your full name and take a screenshot and send it to the same number after payment. Closing date for payment is 18th March 2025.
The Volta Adventure is brought to you by Joy FM in partnership with Joy Prime and Hits FM and sponsored by Woodin. Buy 3 clothes or 18 yards and get free fabrics. Vibe Ghana, Vibe Woodin. Serene Insurance, the new face of insurance, and the Kufi Fruits and Juices, nature's best healthy juice. The Volta Adventure. Experience it joyfully.
Etiri ohwa yenhye kotodwe che. Pardon?
Etiri ohwa yenhye kotodwe che.
Okay. It's the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. And if you're listening, let me remind you that there are places like Australia, Canada, UK, US, Ireland, New Zealand, and other countries with great reputations for teaching and learning where you could study and work at the same time. You could even get a 4-year post-study visa to continue afterwards. Now, you can apply by talking to our friends at Asto Links. They'll give you information about admissions, scholarships, and how to secure your study visa. Asto Links is located at number 4A Paw Street in East Legon. You can call them on 0265 341 070 or just go find them at astolinks.net. Astolinks, pathway for success.
Well, you, my friend, I have a question for you. Have you ever set foot inside a prison? Have you ever listened to an ex-convict recount the moment their world changed, the crime they're sentenced for, the struggle to survive beyond bars? Well, do you know that some prisoners fear freedom more than confinement, dreading the stigma that awaits them outside? And it's really true. Is it really true that presidential amnesty is reserved only for the powerful and privileged? This March, prepare to be shaken as Image Bureau, April Communications, and Joy FM in partnership with the UN Family in Ghana and led by the Joint United Nations Program on HIV and AIDS bring you Beyond the Walls, a gripping George Quay original directed by Na Ashoko. Come see the insides of the Nsamun Female Prison live at the National Theatre on Saturday 29th and Sunday 30th March 2025 at 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. each day. Tickets are selling now at a cool 200 Ghana cedis at www.imagebureaugh.com or dial *714*46#. Beyond the Walls is a powerful story of stigma, redemption, and second chances. It will move you, challenge you, and change the way you see the world. Don't miss it. Please call 055-1313134. Proudly supported by Plans Car Rentals, Ghana Tourism Authority, the Ghana Publishing Company, Aquaba Mineral Water, and brought to you by UNESCO, Stambik, Joy FM, and the UN Family in Ghana.
Now, the Joy Business and the University of Gold Coast invites you to the Gold Coast Leadership Conversations 2025 as follows. On March 22, 2025, there will be a lecture by Sir Sam Jonah, renowned business leader and statesman, on the topic Global Leadership and Corporate Governance, Strategies for Sustainable Business Growth. Now, on March 29th, 2025, the Honorable Shirley Ayoko Botre, Secretary General of the Commonwealth, will speak on the topic Global Leadership in Action, Harnessing Commonwealth Partnerships for Economic Growth. The venue is the Gold Coast Hall, Accra Business School. Time is 9 a.m. to 12 noon and admission is free. If you want to register, go to ugc.edu.gh/event or call 026 050 0444.
All right, listen, the next time you pick up your phone today, do this. Go to kingdomstoreonline.com. Go check out the best quality office essentials, equipment, furniture, and stationery from Kingdom Books. You can pay via Momo across all networks, and they'll deliver to your home or office in very good time. Now, if you live in Accra or Tema, it's free delivery. It's always nice. Terms and conditions do apply. At Kingdom, quality and affordability are their hallmarks.
Here is a special invitation to the Joy Sports National Sports Dialogue, Resetting Ghana Sports, and it's on governance, funding, and infrastructure. It's happening today exactly at 6 p.m. You can catch it live on Joy 99.7 FM, Joy News Channel, and obviously Joy Prime as well. 6 p.m. You don't want to miss that great conversation.
Yeah, stay with us for that. And it's sponsored by... what's the name of the company again?
Better Logistics.
Yeah.
Yes, there you go.
Yes, and MF, are you going on the Volta adventure?
I just maybe. I know the Volta region very well, but I'd love to go again.
Media, I'm going. No. Kojo, we are going.
Amejope, Charlie.
We are going to Amejope.
Fantastic place. Fantastic.
Yes, Amejope. And we'll walk on the canopy.
Yeah.
No, I will see it, but I won't walk.
Are you afraid of heights? This is the only concrete canopy, by the way. So you know all the others are built between trees and
yeah. So this one the main support
and all that.
And then those steps too, I can't because of my knee. So
the going is not as
I will
bad as
watch
the
you
coming.
guys go whilst I sit and grill something. Where are you coming? So if you've not reserved your seat, you should reserve your seat because the closing date for registration and payment is the 18th of March 2025. With just 3,500 Ghana cedis, you get to experience the Pando zip line, the Tafiatome Monkey Sanctuary, Mount Gemi, Amejope waterfalls, and the canopy walk, among others. This will also include your transportation costs, meals, all tours, 2-night stay at the Place Volta Serene Hotel with Bobobo experience, a variety of local dishes, a nightclub session with His Royal Blackness, DJ Black, and movies. You also have access to the game room, the tennis courts, the swimming pools, and all other recreational facilities and activities at the hotel. And that is not all. That is not all. You also get to cruise on the Dodi World with lunch and entertainment before we get back to Accra. So it's going for only 3,500 cedis for everything. There are no hidden costs. Sign up now by making payments via Momo to 059 303 8842. The Momo name is Daniel Boyfew, and kindly reference your full name. Take a screenshot of your Momo and send to the same number after payment. The closing date is 18th of March 2025. The Volta Adventure is brought to you by Woodin. Buy 3 or 4 ready-made, ready-to-wear clothes or 18 years of fabric and get free fabric. Vibe Ghana, Vibe Woodin. Serene Insurance is the new face of insurance, and the Kung Fu Fruits and Juices, nature's best healthy juice, and powered by Joy 99.7 FM. The Volta Adventure, experience it joyfully.
Now, Prof. Peter Korte is doing his thing later today, isn't he?
Yes. And it's a special invitation to you because of the inaugural lecture 2025 with the topic Debt, Investment and Growth in Ghana, and answering the question, did we borrow to consume? Obviously, Professor Peter Korte is the one speaking, and the chairperson, Emerita Professor Tichiwa Menu, also Vice President Arts Section at GAAS, is happening at 5:30 p.m. at the Kwame Nkrumah Auditorium today. You don't want to miss it at GAAS. You can call the number 0302 937 545. 0302 937 545. Now, quickly, that question on Setura, right? Maybe we'll get something like at some point to teach us, but basically it is a Latin word, as you just said, which means that to be certain or be formally informed, which is usually used by a superior court to review a decision of a lower court. Ideally, you find the Supreme Court using that legal
so if you threaten me with legal jargon, I'll threaten you with science and engineering jargon,
which you just
said Siturara. Today I give you adrenocorticotropic hormone,
and I'll threaten you with Wachi. Who wants some?
No, Awache.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's been fun. It always is. We're doing it again tomorrow, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So listen, stay with Joy until then. But we thank you so much for joining us for today's edition of the Super Morning Show. My name is Kojo Youngson. I'm the morning man.
I'm Emefako Siadeti.
AKA Trokan.
And I'm Kojo Akoto Boateng.
Grow some hair. Mr. Boateng.